The Cincinnati Reds lineup for opening day is just about set, as we know without a doubt who will be hitting second.
You are Locked On Reds, your daily Cincinnati Reds podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I'm Stephen Offenbaker. He's Jeff Carr, and happy St. Patrick's Day. Sláinte in advance, folks.
Sláinte.
Welcome into Locked On Reds. We are happy to have you here for today's show that's brought to you by MLB The Show. Visit MLBTheShow.com/locked-on and use the code LOCKEDON to unlock a pack for use in Diamond Dynasty. Available now, today, on PlayStation 5, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch. It's rated E for everyone. A little bit later on today's show, we are going to answer the question, do we have concerns about Andrew Abbott, as he has just one more start before opening day to get things right? We're going to talk about that here in just a little bit. We are also going to talk about Jeff Passan and his thoughts on the Reds not only making the postseason, but advancing in the playoffs. Jeff had some things to say. That's Passan, not Carr. And Jeff Carr is going to have some things to say
Jeff
as well.
Jeff.
It's like the Jeffs are pointing at each other. It's like the Spider-Man meme. Where we are going to begin is with the lineup taking shape, because Terry Francona was pressed a little bit about who the number 2 hitter in this lineup is. Spoiler alert, it's Matt McLain, just like I said it was going to be. We're going to talk about the Reds lineup, Jeff, because we're getting close. Things are kind of falling into place, and you can look at this lineup now and really kind of see who the first four or five guys are without ever having seen a release of the opening day lineup.
Yeah, right now, Terry Francona has said Matt McLain is hitting second. And it was interesting because he was even pressed on that here just a few days ago and was asked, so Matt McLain, 2-hole, right? And he's like, yeah, I knew that about 4 weeks ago. He's been very confident in what he has seen with Matt McLain. And if you look at these statistics, which we tell you not to do when it comes to spring training, but literally every hitting statistics except doubles and triples and stolen bases, which is a base running statistic, not a hitting statistic. The rest of those are Matt McLain. He leads all spring training, not just the Cactus League, both spring training leagues. He is absolutely going wild right now at the plate in such a good way. And we're talking about a guy that we've been hoping to see the 2023 version of him, Steve. He might be evolving into a better version than even that, because he is hitting the pitch that he just absolutely has not been able to hit his very short career.
Yeah, from your lips to God's ears, my friend. We want that Matt McLain. Look, you can be excited about what he's doing in spring training and not violate the rules of spring training. Statistics don't matter, because what you're seeing from Matt McLain is he's barreling the ball, he's hitting the ball hard, his at bats look comfortable, he's protecting parts of the strike zone that he hasn't been able to protect, at least not last year. All of those things matter. All of those looks matter. All of those numbers matter. The overall statistics don't mean anything, but him barreling the ball does. Him looking comfortable does. Him being ready to go does. All of those things matter. So it's not us saying, well, if a player is performing badly, just don't look at their stats. But if they're looking good, look at those numbers over there. No, I don't care. Right. I couldn't tell you right now what Matt McLain's hitting, and I don't care. But I know that he's hitting the ball well, and I know that he feels good. I know that he looks good, and I know that he is performing well. And that's what matters to me. We're going to talk a lot today about guys that are struggling. We're going to get into Andrew Abbott a little bit later in the show. Somewhere along the way, I'm going to sprinkle in some wisdom about Tyler Stephenson right now. But all of these things are just, they're just numbers that don't mean anything. It's more about going through a process to get ready for opening day. And Matt McLain seems clearly ready to be the number 2 hitter in this lineup, to be the guy setting the table for Ellie and for Gino and for Spencer Steer and for all the guys coming after him. I am excited to watch this lineup in action over the course of 162 games.
Yeah, he's done enough to prove he goes back into that number 2 hole in the lineup. And based on what Gordon Whitmire said in a recent article for the Cincinnati Enquirer, he said that the opening day lineup will most likely look like this against Boston Red Sox left-handed pitcher Garrett Crochet. Leading off and playing in center field, you got TJ Friedl. Hitting second and playing second base, Matt McLain. Hitting third at shortstop, Ellie De La Cruz. Batting fourth at DH, Eugenio Suárez, who just hit another home run. I mean, we talked about, are we worried about him? You shouldn't be. And
we are undefeated.
We talk about something and it happens, which is why we're talking about Andrew Abbott later on, so that hopefully all of that goes away. And then Stewart is penciled in as the fifth hitter and starting at first base. I find that at least a little bit interesting, but I'm excited because I feel like he deserves that kind of a look. But to know that the top 5 of the 9 are already set, I mean, I kind of feel like you can just pick, other than moving Ke'Bryan Hayes to the 6th spot. The other 3 guys, when it comes to Noelvi Marte, Tyler Stephenson, and Spencer Steer, whatever order you want to have them in, 6, 7, 8, those guys can hit there. And then you got Ke'Bryan Hayes at 9. Boom, opening day lineup, ready to go.
Are you surprised at all? Because I am. Garrett Crochet is a left-handed pitcher and a very, very good one. Are you surprised that they're going to start TJ Friedl versus Dane Myers, who demolishes lefties? I feel like we're going to end up in a straight platoon for the most part of the year in center field anyway. Is it an opening day thing? Is it I
think it is. I think it's a little bit of pomp and circumstance. Like, you're right. Like, if this were, I don't know, May 13th and they're facing a left-handed pitcher from Pittsburgh or something like that, Dane Myers is leading off and playing center field. And then whenever that pitcher gets pulled, they bring in a right-handed reliever, they will flip in TJ Friedl for that. And then the lineup just continues to roll. But I think at this juncture, just for opening day and what opening day means in the city of Cincinnati, they're going to punt just a wee bit of strategy for one day to have the man that deserves to be the number 1 center fielder on this team.
And let me ask you this also. I know you said you sound excited for Sal Stewart to get a look at the 5 spot. Are you surprised it's not Spencer Steer there?
A little bit, to be honest with you. I think Spencer Steer's looked pretty good this spring, but I think that Sal Stewart has put in so much work. And I think that this is Terry Francona acknowledging just how hard he has worked to get this opportunity. It was clear after September he was going to get a good look in spring training to be on the opening day roster, to be a starting player for this lineup. But he did so much more than I ever expected him to do. And I think Terry Francona also probably had some expectations, and those were probably exceeded as well. So I think that this is going to be a bit of a celebration. If he does struggle early on, maybe they not bench him, but they move him down, move Spencer Steer up. But I kind of, like I said, I might even throw.
Right, because Spencer Steer's got to be hitting 6th then. If Sal is batting 5th, then Spencer Steer's got to be hitting 6th. And then I think I'm batting Tyler Stephenson 7th. Now, we were messaged on Twitter X about, are you guys going to talk about the poor spring training that Tyler Stephenson is having? Okay, it's not great. But once again, I don't care about the spring statistics very much. Just like I don't know what Matt McLain's batting right now. I didn't know what Tyler Stephenson's batting average was until that comment forced me to go look. And yeah, his slash line is horrific. It's 154, 267, 231 out in Goodyear. But guys, that's 30 plate appearances. That's 30 plate appearances. That doesn't mean anything. And what's your alternative? Are you going to hand the starting job to Jose Trevino out of the gate on opening day? We know what that looks like. We know what he does over a long period of time. Jose Trevino is great in short bursts, but if you leave him out there long enough, he's going to get exposed. So no, I am not worried about Tyler Stephenson. I think that's going to also sort itself out. Again, 30 plate appearances. I'm batting him 7th in this lineup.
There's one question about Tyler Stephenson, and I know that we can answer this. Is he healthy?
It's healthy.
Opening day catcher. There we go.
Opening day catcher. Very good.
When it comes to spring training, that is the key thing with all of this. And I find it intriguing because this plays into what Jeff Passan had to say about the Cincinnati Reds, because somebody at ESPN finally got it right when they were talking about the Cincinnati Reds, albeit one of the big things that this year hinges on is somebody we've had some injury or some sort of health questions about. We'll discuss that coming up next. Today, I'm thrilled to be talking about our sponsor, MLB The Show 26. The greatest game in baseball is back. It's coming out on Wednesday, in fact, and you can pre-order now through Wednesday and get some awesome stuff. I mean, look, you're going to have a really hard time pulling yourself away from this game if you're a true baseball fan, because you get to take control of your favorite franchise. Whether it's the Cincinnati Reds or if you're wrong and your favorite franchise is somebody else, you can take control of that team and take them all the way. See how many World Series rings you can rack up, because quite frankly, when I play, I never lose. We won't talk about what difficulty that's on, but I love MLB The Show, and MLB The Show 26 is making it even better to take control of your favorite team. And now you can visit mlbthe.show/locked-on and use the code Locked On to unlock a pack for use in Diamond Dynasty. Internet connection is required. You can pre-order now through Wednesday on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S and X, and Nintendo Switch. MLB The Show 26 is rated E for everyone.
MLB opening day is almost here, and you can feel it. Fresh starts, big expectations, and that first crack of the bat. Whether it's a breakout rookie season or a division race that goes down to the wire, there's nothing like being in the ballpark for it. That's where Game Time comes in handy. They eliminate the long queues, they eliminate surprise fees, and they eliminate prices jumping at checkout. They make it easy for you to get the tickets to the game that you want. And if you haven't gotten your opening day tickets yet, guess what? Plenty of tickets available on Game Time right now. I just checked. Lots of sections, lots of choices. Get your opening tickets today if you want to be at GABP for opening day Abbott versus Crochet. You want to be there for that. Take the guesswork out of buying Major League Baseball tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code Locked On for $20 off your first purchase. Now, terms do apply. Again, just create your account and redeem the code Locked On for $20 off your first purchase. Download the Game Time app today.
You got to check out the Locked On Reds Everydayer Club. Go to lockedonreds.supercast.com. And by the way, you can use the promo code MARCH right now to get a free month, and you can join the Locked On Everydayer bracket pool. This is for all of the everydayers across Locked On, and you could win some great prizes. Go to lockedonreds.supercast.com to learn more about all of that great stuff. All right, Steve, there was a fantastic article written by Jeff Passan as it pertains to all 30 Major League Baseball teams, and the only reason that I really liked it is because he had good things to say about our Cincinnati Reds. And we're going to start with the best of the things that he had to say, and that is that the Reds have the talent to be one of the better teams in the National League, and, you know, as long as everything's kind of going good whenever Hunter Green returns, the Cincinnati Reds could win a playoff series, not only make the postseason, but win a series. Jeff Passan is buying the 2026 Reds at a rate that most others aren't, and I'm here for it. I absolutely love to see it.
You know, I see somebody from ESPN saying nice things about the Reds, and I immediately see the gif of, is this even legal? I didn't know that was something that could happen. No, listen, Passan is spot on here. If you read that, you know, he talked about, you know, Eugenio Suárez and his home run contributions. He talked about the wrecking crew that a Green, Lodolo, Abbott, 3 pitchers in a row, short series postseason look would be very difficult to deal with. I love what he has to say here. I love that it's getting some national recognition. Obviously, the Reds have to go out and deliver on this, but it supports what you and I have been saying basically since the Reds signed Gino, and that is they have now addressed the needs of this team in such a way that this team can finally go out as a whole unit and compete. It's no longer squinting. It's no longer hoping. MVP 2026 was going to be hope, and that is different now. The Reds successfully changed that narrative. So I look at this, and I'm glad to see national recognition for it, because this team is built to win this division. And I know that's hard. Listen, guys, everybody take a breath. Stop typing. Stop typing in the comment section. Hear me out. I know that's hard. but this team is built to compete in this division right now. They're going to give the Cubs and the Brewers a run for their money. They're going to be able to be relevant in this division all the way through the end. And that's where they needed to be this year. That's how this team needed to be constructive. And to the front office credit, they did. This is going to be a fun team to watch. We're going to be dug in and watching meaningful baseball all the way through to the end of the season. And I am here for it. I think the national guys are excited about it. It's an extra team they get to talk about that they haven't been able to talk about in a while, with some exciting players, with some guys that are fan friendly, fun to watch players that they're going to get to talk about at the national level. Now it's not just going to be all Ohtani all the time. So this is good.
Right. And I want to circle back to like some of the points that he made about why the Reds could win a playoff series in just a moment. But for a moment, the thing that I want to focus on is the fact that he says at the top of this graph where he's talking about the Reds and why they can be good this year, he says why the season hinges on Chase Burns. It's and he goes on to say it's quite interesting to say that an entire playoff worthy team's hopes hinges on a rookie pitcher, but that's just how good Burns can be. And I think it's interesting because we talked about this a lot yesterday, so we're not going to rehash all of the weirdness when it comes to the messaging surrounding Chase Burns. Check out yesterday's episode for that. But he did throw a bullpen session on Wednesday, and all reports were he looked good, he recovered well, and he seemingly is not as far off track as some of the other statements would have us to believe. And it's interesting because C. Trent came out with this article in The Athletic that says Burns is starting in AAA. Brandon Williamson's the number 5 starter. Immediately, Charlie and a couple of other guys were like, not so fast. That decision has not been made. That is all conjecture. And I feel like Chase Burns is still going to be in the starting rotation like we talked about yesterday. And I still feel like he's going to provide the kind of value that guys like Jeff Passan and so many other people have talked about. This is not just Jeff and Steve really like a Reds player because, well, they play for the Reds. This is lots of other scouts are looking at Chase Burns and going, this guy is really stinking good. And you're going to want to watch him pitch. And I am excited to see him pitch in Cincinnati for a majority of the season, albeit they're going to have to play with his innings a little bit. But I think that that's where the key of Hunter Green coming back in July ready to go will help manage all of that.
I want to tell you how much I believe in Chase Burns. 2 things, Jeff. Thing number 1, everyone needs to stop with the move Chase Burns to the bullpen talk. That is not going to happen. He's pitched 40 big league games. We don't know anything except that he has elite stuff, and he's going to figure the rest of this out. How confident am I that he's going to figure the rest of these things out? Jeff, the 2028 season, I think Chase Burns is your opening day starter in Cincinnati, and Hunter Green will be the number 2. That's where Chase Burns stuff is going right now. That is the trajectory that Chase Burns is on. Write it down, book it. He's going to compete for the opening day slot in 2028.
He's so good though. Like and I understand. You can watch the guy, his mechanics look a little herky jerky, but quite frankly, so were like guys like Tim Lincecum's. And that's how people are talking about Chase Burns.
This is the maximum effort conversation, right? This is the maximum effort conversation. Maximum effort pitchers, when they're in their prime, when they're good, they are elite. Now, when it goes, it goes. But while they are elite, oh man, are they fun to watch.
But I don't understand this like trend, and this is not just Reds fans. This is every team's fans of like trying to ascertain the exact moment whenever a starting pitcher becomes a relief pitcher and trying to call it and things like that. Like Chase Burns upside, according to scouts, according to prospect experts, guys that watch prospects closely every single year, Chase Burns is an ace level potential pitcher.
Yep.
So why would you take a guy who could be an ace level dude for you for 200 innings and say, you know what though? What if he only threw 60 innings? Like, that'd be cool, right? No. Why do we do that? This happened with Aroldis Chapman. And so ever since it happened with Aroldis Chapman, Reds fans want to do this. And they're like, okay, well, Johnny Cueto's been hurt a lot. Maybe he should be moved to the bullpen. You know what? Luis Castillo, sometimes Luis Castillo, maybe we had to move him to the bullpen. You know what? Hunter Green. Let's move Hunter Green to the bullpen. All of those guys have since proven that they're good starting pitchers, and albeit we would like to see Hunter Green more healthy, but still, people have moved on to Chase Burns now. Who's next? Like, Chase Petty, we're going to mark Jose Franco. We're going to look at Ty Floyd.
And you skipped over all of the calls to send Nick Lodolo to the bullpen.
Nick Lodolo to the bullpen,
right?
Yeah. It's pick a starting pitcher. For some reason, this feels like a narrative we must go through every offseason or spring training, because at some point people run out of things to talk about. And I don't get it. But no, I'm with you. There's absolutely no thought of this with me. I think that is a ridiculous thought process. But going back to something that Jeff Passan said about the Reds' chances of advancing in the postseason, I think it's amazing that Jeff Passan brings that part of this up. He marks Eugenio Suárez. And Steve, did he say that Eugenio Suárez is coming in to be the absolute leader and captain and Superman and everything that this lineup needs? No. Eugenio Suárez peppering Great American Ballpark with home runs again. Because that's all he's got to do.
Yep.
And you know what he's done in the World Baseball Classic? Exactly that. All right, he is ready, and he is going to fill that role so well.
And if you're wondering who is going to be that leader, who is going to be that captain, who is going to be that guy that does all of those other things, Terry Francona just told you he's batting second in the lineup.
That was another thing too, and we didn't get to that, but there was a quote from Terry Francona talking about Matt McLain. He's like, he's going to bat second, he's going to bat third. I'd love to bat him second, third, and fourth, and fifth, and sixth, and 1 through 9, basically. I think he was just like 9 Matt McLains, basically. He told you, he putting a C on that chest without, actually saying he's putting that C on that chest. I don't know that they're going to do that ever again, but if they do, it's going to be Matt McLain.
No, I agree with that 100%. All right, Jeff, we've got one more person we've got to talk about. Are we concerned? Are we not concerned? I think you and I both land in the same place on this, but we're going to find out together, because coming up, we're going to talk about Andrew Abbott's spring training and do the numbers matter? Find out right after this. What if sports were traded like markets? Now you can put your sports IQ to work in real time with Robinhood Prediction Markets. It's not you against the house. It's you participating in a live market. You can buy or sell your positions live all game long. Use your sports knowledge in the moments that matter. Robinhood Prediction Markets changes the game. It's people moving the action, so when momentum shifts, you can move with it. I always knew the game, but I never had a dynamic way to apply that knowledge. Now I can actually take part live in a market powered by people. You're no longer just a spectator. Play by play, you decide. Trade every play with Robinhood. Now available across the U.S. Download the Robinhood app now to begin. Futures and cleared swaps trading involve significant risk and are not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
It's NCAA tournament time, and there's no better place to get in on all the action than over on FanDuel, because they got their college basketball profit parlay boost. But when it comes to college basketball, there's no real teams that are getting into the tournament from here in the tri-state. So let's look at some MLB futures, because right now the Reds are 5-1 to win the NL Central. I think that they're getting disrespected every which way. Everywhere you look at them, 5-1. The Pirates are at 6-1. There is no way that those teams are that close when it comes to the end of this season. And I think that the Reds got a real shot to win the division. So throw some money over on 5-1 odds for the Reds to win the NL Central over on FanDuel today. And like I mentioned, you can get into some college basketball same game parlay profit boost action. Just head to FanDuel.com right now to get started. That's FanDuel.com. FanDuel, play your game.
Buddy, I need a Guinness after that. Thanks for watching us here on YouTube. We appreciate you guys so much. If you can't watch us on YouTube, though, we are on every single audio podcasting platform that's out there. If you find one we're not on and you need us there, message Jeff. he can probably make it happen for you. And that is where the Everydayer Club lives. If you would like ad-free, uninterrupted Locked On Reds without any ads at all, that's the audio feed. That's the Everydayer Club. The link for that is down in the show description. $5 a month, $50 a year. Use the promo code MARCH. First month is free. You've got nothing to lose. Sign up today. All right, Jeff, I have spent this entire show saying spring's training stats don't matter and I don't care. Are we concerned about how Andrew Abbott has performed out in Goodyear? Once again, I can't tell you what his overall statistics are. I went and pulled that box score from his last outing, and boy, was it ugly. 2 innings of just getting his brains bashed in, so to speak. But there are a lot of peripheral numbers, even in those spring training statistics, that say, everybody relax, to quote your favorite sports personality, Aaron Rodgers, Jeff, RELAX, relax. Those numbers tell us a story, but they don't tell us the whole story. The entire defense behind him in that start was a bunch of guys that are not going to sniff a Major League Baseball field this season, with the exception of like Nate Lowe was in that game, I think. But everybody else was guys that are just guys taking up spots. I'm not worried about this. I know that Andrew Abbott's frustrated. We'll get to his quotes. He had some things to say about it. He's saying the right things still yet, that, I realize things aren't quite there yet, but we're going to get there. We're going to keep working at it. Things are starting to click. We're starting to get there. I believe him, and I don't think anybody knows better than Andrew Abbott how Andrew Abbott is feeling and how things are coming along for Andrew Abbott. I'm willing to not panic, and let's get to opening day, and let's see where we're at.
I feel like, you remember like whenever The Rock was doing his wrestling thing, like early on, and he did the whole eyebrow raising thing, and I can't do it. Like, I've always tried to do that, but it's like, as things were, like that, as things were happening, he would raise the eyebrow more and more and more and more. Mine's that like a raised eyebrow of like level half. Like, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it, because when it comes to his performance, it's not the statistics, it's not the results, it's the proximity to opening day in which this is happening. Because I kind of marked this point as the, all right, he's going to turn it on. The results, and I'm paying a little bit more attention to him, because he has one more start after this as a tune-up for opening day. And so, no, I'm not going to go crazy about the fact that he gave up 8 earned runs on 8 hits and 3 walks. I'm not going to go crazy about the fact that his ERA is 13.8 right now. I'm not going to go crazy about that stuff. But what I am just slightly concerned about is the proximity to games that matter, and the fact that this happened now.
Here's a stat that matters to me, Jeff. In the last start for Andrew Abbott, he threw 76 pitches. He's not hurt. He's healthy. His arm feels okay. He's recovering nicely. He's going to make one more start before opening day. Probably throws 80 to 90 pitches in that. I would like to see better results. I'm not saying I don't want to see better results, but it's also spring training, and everything is different in Goodyear. Everything is outside of the normal of the routines. They're facing guys they don't normally face. They're throwing pitches they wouldn't normally throw. I'm not ready to panic. I'm not even concerned. I know that's crazy to say. I trust Andrew Abbott. He says he's getting there. Andrew Abbott, of all the pitchers in this rotation, has always been transparent. He's always been honest about how he feels and what's going on. He's the one guy that when, he exceeded his games and innings count, he told you straight out, my legs are gone. My legs are gone. I'm tired. Like, he's completely transparent with how he feels. And if there was a problem, he would say so. I think just things still need a little bit more time to click. He's going to get there.
And to your point, he had some of those things to say after the game on Monday. He said, quote, "I'm just overall frustrated. Results aren't what I want them to be, honestly. I feel like my process has been there. I feel like my work in the bullpen sessions has been there. Kind of just waiting out the storm, waiting to see when it'll click. But today, mechanically, it clicked. And then, everything I've been working on with off-speed pitches, with cutters, with changeups was okay, I think. It could be better, obviously, but I'm still waiting on it." And to his point, The velocity, it was just like a skosh, right? Like, I love that word, skosh. It was like a few tenths of a mile an hour off of his season average. So he's right there. He has given up a lot of hard contact this spring, but like we mentioned, the infield, I mean, come on. The starting infield for Monday's game was Nate Lowe at first base. You had Alexander Vargas at second base, which I think there's like two people I know of who know who that guy is. Garrett Hampson at shortstop, who has already been told he's not making the opening day roster. And PJ Higgins at third base, who has been one of the third and fourth catchers, first baseman on this team. They played him at third base. He's another guy that's been told he's not making the opening day roster. So essentially the infield was made up of a bunch of guys, like we said. So if there was a ground ball, it's getting past, period, plain and simple. And he was giving up a couple of ground balls. There were a couple of singles that were hit. There were a few home runs as well. But like for me, that feeds into the fact that throughout spring training, the batting average on balls in play against Andrew Abbott is well over 400. It's very close to 500. When half the balls that you allow into play fall for hits, I don't care who you are, there ain't going to be some good results with that. It's just not going to happen. And I think that's kind of where we are right now with Andrew Abbott, where it's like, if you name something that is concerning, I can name something to you that's going to put that flame out. There's still, I just need to see a little bit more in that next start. Whoever it's against, whoever's playing in the field, want to see less walks, things like that, and I'll feel fine. But I did think about it for a minute longer than I've been thinking about some spring training performances to this point.
Well, I look forward to see what he does in his final spring training tune-up. I think it's going to be better. I trust things are going to continue to click. He's going to work on stuff between now and then. I think it's going to get better. But you can rest assured that Jeff and I are going to break it all down and have you covered for it. That's going to do it for this edition of Locked On Reds. Thanks, as always, for making us your first listen each and every day. For the audio folks, go make Locked On MLB your second listen. Sully's got you covered over there with Major League Baseball from a national perspective. And Mike Stanton, former Reds pitcher Mike Stanton, has you covered as well with Major League Baseball from a player's perspective. Both of those shows in the Locked On MLB feed. For the video folks, stick around. We're going to redirect you to Locked On's first ever 24/7 national YouTube channel, where all of the experts of the Locked On network are talking ball 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, giving you your sports fix. Jeff and I will be back in your feeds tomorrow, post St. Patrick's Day celebration. Go have fun. Be safe, be responsible, and we'll see you right back here where we'll gather up all the news, the notes, the rumors, the reports, and the information to keep you Locked On Reds every single day. Can you smell what the Steve is cooking?
No.